Welcome, welcome to this week's spiritual success class. Now, I actually went live without really knowing what I'm talking about. I just feel so compelled to come on and talk because you never know when God, the divine, infinite spirit, however you think of the one true creator of the universe, you never know how it will use you for the good of others in a way that seems like just something natural that you would do. Now, I wrote an email about this and I sent it out to my list last night, just after I had this amazing experience that saved someone's life, literally. And it was so coincidental that it was synchronistic. So just wait a second while I share this to my profile. If you're on the replay, say hi. Let me know that you're here. You know that I love hearing from you. I am, this is a community vibe and all of that. So let me just quick go onto my page from my computer. So where's everyone from? How's your day going? What are you doing? What are you up to? You need to tell me telepathically or put it in the comments. More likely to hear if you put it in the comments, obviously. But you never know. Do you ever have it like where your husband or someone that you're really close to goes to the shop and like you're really like in sync with each other, and for some reason you didn't actually ask for the thing out loud, but you thought in your head like, oh, I really love cherries too. And then he comes back with cherries like for the first time in ages or something like that. We do that all the time. We're so in sync. Like we've lived in each other's pockets for like 10 years. Been through some really hard times together, but we grew through it and strengthened our relationship and have come together closer than ever. So let me just share this. Here I am. Hello. So I've got headphones on because I'm listening to music, because obviously you can't really do that on Facebook. Otherwise they will, like delete it, the live stream. Okay. Share. You never know. So I'm sharing this on my profile now. You never know. This is a great story, so hold on for this. Okay, shared there. Maybe I'll do it to my... Oh no, I was just looking around for my phone so I could share it to my story. Can I share it from my story here? Share to your story. Okay. Okay, so let's drop in. Now change the song. Something like... Okay, so last night, me and my husband had this really amazing time just connecting and talking, and then I decided, it was really late, and I decided to go out to the beach, which we're like 90-second walk literally from the beach. We're next to a big park and just this really beautiful beach area. And at that time of night in this small town, we're in a small town in the back end of Essex, like 3 hours outside of London, ended up here so randomly many years ago that, no one is around. It's like I can go out at 3 and 4 and 5 a.m. at night because I'm a just natural night owl, and it's warm here and lovely weather. And it's like I have my own private island. It's really amazing. And I felt called to do some work, but I wanted to go out and ground myself fully first. So I took my time just getting organized, getting a bottle of water or really Ribena in a little bottle and getting some things together and just making sure I had everything that I wanted when I went out. I went out and guess what? I decided to take my glow poi. Now glow poi are little spinning balls they rotate with their lights and you spin them like sort of like fire twirling but with light sticks. And so these are little balls attached to ropes. And now I used to do them all the time, but I haven't done them for years and years and years and years. However, years ago, like 6 or 7 years ago, I actually bought a pair of glow poi. And they've just sat in my drawer forever. I knew that one day I'd use them when I was ready to get back into it. I only pulled them out. Now, this is very significant to the story about how I saved someone's life. Actually, with my glow poi. I know this sounds so funny, but it's actually true. And something I'm so humbled and honored by. Just such an amazing experience. So, I'd only gotten these glow poi out for the first time about a month ago, which incidentally was at dawn as the sun was coming up. I went out into the park and no one was there. It was literally my own VIP area, this beautiful grass, and I did some glow poi and I listened to music and I just had this whole time by myself. It was beautiful. And then last night, I just got the idea to go down to the beach, do some glow poi, and last night was pitch black. There's usually a moon there of some sort, but the moon wasn't even there. It was like it just had disappeared. I couldn't even see the outline of no moon, like, you know, when it's a new moon and you can see the outline and there's no moon. I couldn't see it at all. You could not see 10 feet in front of your face. And I'm pretty good with things like that. And I know the area and, you know, and even though this area can be a little bit rough, it's also quite safe at the same time. So I went down onto the beach, put my bag down, put my phone in my bag, decided not to put any music on, grabbed my glow poi, down to the water. Water was lapping at my ankles, and I started just spinning. And in the past, I used to really try to do all these different tricks and stuff, and I just really focused on the peaceful feeling inside of me, and to do really long, elegant, like figure eights and movements like that, and like expanding wider with my arms out wider and coming back in, and just, you know, doing different things like this. And all I could see was really blackness. I could feel the sand in between my toes, the water lapping up on my feet, and feeling really peaceful. And I could just see the rotating beautiful rainbows in front of my face as I'm spinning them. I was probably there for a good 10-15 minutes. And then all of a sudden I heard, hello? And to me it was just probably just someone up on the Esplanade boardwalk area, and I just ignored it. And then a few minutes later, like 5 or 10 minutes later, I heard again, hello? Except this time it seemed to be coming from in front of me to the side. So I was like, okay, so someone must have come down onto the beach with me. And then I started noticing someone coming out, like more out of the water. And it was this young man that I've met in passing just once or twice. Didn't really know him, but it was through friends of friends. So I knew his name. We'd met before. We'd said hello, and that was about it. And I knew that I'd heard through the grapevine that he'd been going through some things and, you know, was finding, you know, life a bit hard right now. So I sort of knew that about him already. And the first thing he said to me really was, they're so pretty. And he asked me something about how do I do it. And I started saying something like small talk. I just gave small talk. But then as he got closer, once he got to about 3 feet, I looked up in his face and I saw who it was and I said his name. And I went, oh, is that you? And then he just sort of looked at me and went, can I have a hug? And he was sopping wet. His clothes were just soaking wet. And I gave him a big hug. And he just went, just tried to kill myself. He swam out all the way to the boys, really far out, like past where he couldn't touch, like he was drunk. And he told me afterwards, not in that moment, but afterwards he told me that he had this thought come over him that said, it's just not worth it. Because he had some tough things coming up, some things that he knew were going to be really, really trying and hard times, which would be hard for anyone. And so, yeah, he just had this thought. And so he just went out and he swam out past where he could touch really, really deep. And it was pitch black. He couldn't see anything, didn't know which way was what. And it wasn't at that moment that I just thought that he'd just come back in and I was consoling him. And I told him in that moment when I saw him, I said, God brought me down to this beach. I was like, I was clearly meant to be here to, you know, help him. And he was dripping wet and so I ran home, like the 2 minutes home, to get him a change of clothes and from my husband's closet. And so my husband helped me pick out some sweatpants, a shirt and a hoodie for him. And I got some tissues and a drink for him. And yeah, I went back down and I'd made a promise not to leave. But while I was gone, he'd called someone in his family and she was like panicking saying, you have to come home immediately. So he was waiting at the top of my road. And when I got back, I gave him the clothes and he started getting changed into them. And I took the opportunity to ask him what his spiritual beliefs were. And I said, so what are your spiritual beliefs? And he told me that he believed in karma, but not much else. And then as we were talking, he said, well, actually, I'm not spiritual, but this was just too crazy. This was too weird. And I didn't realize he was in there about to drown. And in the pitch blackness, he saw my glow poi spinning on the beach. And they were so beautiful and so pretty. They really are very pretty to see these streams of rotating rainbow lights going around in pretty patterns in the pitch black. And he said he had this another thought overcome him. And the thought was, what am I doing? Because it was something that he would never have done. He was telling me, like, that's not something he ever thought he'd do. And he was just feeling a bit embarrassed about it as well. And it was my lights that he followed back into shore. And because I was there for that small 15-minute window where I almost went into the park, but something really stopped me. And I just felt, I kept getting pushed back to the beach. So I went, okay, I won't go sit and lay on the grass like I really wanted to, like, be on the grass. But I was like, that's okay, I'll go on the sand. And while I was on there, he was out in the water. And if I hadn't have been there, he would have died. And so I didn't realize at the time, like, it wasn't until I came back and he started changing in out of the sopping wet clothes and into the nice, warm, dry, fluffy clothes that I brought him down. And he had his bicycle with him and he was about to ride home. And I didn't realize that it was because he saw my lights and the lights guided him back into shore. And I told him, and when I asked him about his spiritual beliefs, and I told him the spirit world is real. And I said, you can cry out to God, or if you want to think of it as infinite spirit or the divine, any time for help. And I really use this opportunity to help break through and bring him closer to God, because this is like I promised God, or if you prefer, it doesn't matter, like it's God, infinite spirit, divine mind. Like, I have people who grew up with religious trauma that, you know, fully believe in God, and I've helped them release it and create a beautiful connection with God with their intuition. And I have people that just believe in the universe who come to me and I help guide them deeper into believing in the divine mind and infinite spirit, because if they have trauma around the word God and being judged and things like that. So whichever way you are, just interpret the words that I say in a way that can match your belief system at this current time, because we upgrade and we learn as we go, or we're meant to. So what else happened? While I was out there, I asked him if I could pray with him or pray for him. And he's like, well, yeah, after what just happened, like, cause he kept saying, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Like, it was just, he couldn't believe that. I mean, it's such an crazy, insane, synchronistic experience that he was literally out, and it was pitch black. I know I've said this, but like, it was the darkest night that I've seen in ever. And it was warm water, and I had a near-death experience when I was about 13 years old, and I almost drowned being pulled into some tunnels. And the experience of dying, almost dying, was euphoric. You just knew that everything was okay. And so it would have been very easy for him to have actually drowned out there, but like, it would have been. And instead, he saw my lights and came in. And so when I started praying for him, I called in God and I asked him to be with him. And then I called in Archangel Michael and Jesus Christ, and I asked them to be with him. And the spirit that told him that he was, that it's not worth it. So like, a lot of our negative thoughts are spirits. Like, we have spirits whispering in our ears positively and negatively, and depending upon which frequency we are on, that's the frequency that that spirits can come to us in. And so I bound and rebuked that spirit as well as others. And yeah, just helped him see that, you know, in the spirit realm right now, when you ask them, when you call upon them, they'll go and do spiritual battle for you. And just told him a little bit about that before he rode off home to his family. And he told me how I saved a lot of people from a lot of heartache that night, because if he had gone missing or turned up dead, they would have been in pieces and heartbroken, because he did have people around him who loved him. He was just going through such a hard time. So my whole point for telling this story, the lesson in this today, it was 1:30 a.m. Like, I could have just been like, don't feel like it. Like, you know, it is a bit late. I was thinking of doing the work, and if I go to the beach, I might come back tired and not end up doing the work on my computer, which I did write about it, but I didn't do all the work when I came back that I thought I was going to do beforehand, which is fine. And I didn't know. So your higher self is also the Holy Spirit, depending upon which end of the spectrum you're from, but it's actually the same thing. And you never know when you're guided by the Holy Spirit, by your higher self, just through your natural reactions, especially once you've done a lot of energy work. Like, I've done thousands and thousands of hours of energy work. I used to have PTSD, where I'd get triggered and really get triggered in this trauma response that just wouldn't quit. I'd be so sensitive, and I'd get offended, and I'd judge people, and I'd take everything they said personally and to heart, and I'd always try to find, well, not on purpose, but I would try to find things wrong about what they said. If I didn't like it, I would make up this whole thing, and I'd get all uppity and offended. I also had chronic health issues. I had a chronic lung illness that almost killed me. Social anxiety that made me abrasive, abrupt, and just really volatile. I had a lot of self-worth issues, deep, debilitating self-worth issues that made me think I wasn't worth anything more than my sexuality at all. And it took me years to unpick that. Now, the truth is, in the first year, once I got into energy work, big shifts happened. And it was after a year when my chronic lung disease that I'd had for years, and that started, you wouldn't have really called it a disease at the time, like a lung disease at the time, but it started when I was a kid, having constant bronchitis all the time. And at the end, it got so bad, it literally almost killed me with walking pneumonia. Well, yeah, so anyway, I healed all of that, and I've been helping people heal it as well. I healed it naturally because 99% of chronic pain is emotional. So it heals the exact same way. The way that I heal like someone's womb and save them from having to have a hysterectomy is the same way that I heal someone with agoraphobia and anxiety who can't go outside and leave their family because they fear something bad will happen. The same way that I help people overcome their fear of judgment and their visibility fears is actually the same way that I help people heal their sciatica or their back pain that makes them screaming on the floor in agony or unable to lift their leg into the car by themselves. It's because your pain, yes, it is physical, but it's only physical because it's compounded emotions. And it's not just a feeling. It's you. It's you in pain that you're not listening, that you've repressed a long time ago when you're a child, and you didn't think that it could be loved. You hated this part of you. You had to protect yourself. You had to fit in. And so you repressed these parts of you. They went down into your unconscious, but they still have the thinking ability. And so like a little mad scientist, you probably heard me talk about this before if you've been around for a while, like a mad scientist in the basement. They are tinkering away, making decisions, sending plans out to the universe. You know, you say, oh, I'm going to have this great launch. And they're like, yeah, no, it's not safe to be seen, so I'm actually going to make you feel sick right now. And then you get sick and you're like, oh, I can't do the launch. Oh, you know, and you have a very good excuse because it wouldn't have been reasonable not to have done it otherwise. And you don't know this consciously. You're hearing, some people hear this and be like, nah, yes, I've helped thousands of people heal around the world. Many in one-to-one healings over the last 14 years since I started this and 12 years professionally. Many people in my group programs, many people in my YouTube videos have had what is considered miraculous healings. Now, I don't just zap you with energy. This is a profound talk therapy. It's like, if you've heard of parts work, it's not, I mean, it's similar to that. It's like, I was going to say it's not that, but it's like not exactly that. It's just, I use some of the same concepts and do some of the same things, but I haven't actually looked into it that deeply. It's just if you know it, it'll give you a good idea, which is where we have all these different parts of ourselves, these sub-personalities. And these sub-personalities all have independent opinions, beliefs, and memories, and things that they don't like and that they need to protect you from. And so you run on a automatic pattern from that. And when you go in and you talk to these parts of yourself, which also is part of your chronic pain, and you can bring them together, you can change their mind, their mood, their belief system, and then you naturally start making different decisions, and you naturally start making, like, just creating and attracting opportunities into your life. Like, you have to watch the testimonial that I just released the other day with my beautiful client, Aurora Hilsden, who, when she came to me, she was in extreme anxiety. She said at the start of the video she was a shell of the person, and her anxiety was so bad that she could hardly even feed herself. She had agoraphobia and irrational fears that she couldn't leave her mum and sisters, otherwise something terrible would happen to them or her. And she had chronic pain, was going to the doctors once or twice a week, trying to call the doctors up, really in serious fear for her life. And I went and I connected her with the pain, and I got her to learn how to listen to its voice. And then we changed the memories, the holographic memories within it, the subconscious reprogramming. I connected her with the divine within herself, or if you prefer the term God, or doesn't matter. We connected her with it. I helped her feel love and compassion for herself, feel safe, and learn how to trust. And while we're working together in those 4 months, her Instagram blew up from 350 followers to 27,000 during the 4 months we were working together in a very short period of time. And since then, there's like around 35,000 now. Now, we didn't work on her Instagram. We didn't do I have a great Instagram session. No, we did I feel really bad that I don't finish things and it makes me feel like I'm just worthless session. And then we healed that, transformed it, and it went from this heavy energy in her body to this big, beautiful prism of prismatic love and self-approval and self-worth and self-praise and just confidence and in touch with her intuition. And she was able to work and finish things and create. And when we started, her business was drowning. Oh no, she said, so her words were, now her business is drowning in orders. But before, her business was non-existent. She also got headhunted to star in an indie film, in like a little student film. And she made a whole group of friends. She's been on a trip to Italy. Like, so many amazing things happen. And this is just one of many. Like, this isn't about just come and do a session. This is about, do you want exponential expansion in your life? Are you ready to release your triggers and to become more loving in your relationships? Are you ready to become brilliant, your true brilliant self? Are you ready to become who God made you to be? Are you ready to do the inner work? And are you done jumping from one thing to another? Yes, you can add in other things. My work actually makes other things more effective. So if you do my work and then you might do some other modality, and it will be 10 times more effective because you're so open and just open. It's amazing. But you still use my work as a cornerstone foundation. People who use my work over months and years, even if they have breaks sometimes, come back to it, their lives radically different. Like, it is true. Have a look at my testimonials. You can see, like, I'm an imperfect person with my own stuff, obviously, but I feel like I sort of grew up online, even though I'm 42, and I've been trying to be online. I say trying to be online because for many, many years, it would come out, I'd do some videos, cry about them, feel embarrassed about them. People would tell me how much I changed their life. I couldn't really hear it. I'm like, okay. And then I'd disappear. Come out, like have to do some videos, do some trainings, do some programs, do some audios. People tell me they changed their life. People tell me these amazing stories of healed marriages and manifestations and opportunities and healed health and every area of their life. And I'm like, oh, wonderful. It makes me feel so good. And then I'm like, oh yeah, but I was just had such visibility fears because, and now I know in hindsight, it's because my calling is so big to help people that it was too much for my human to handle with my fears of authority, because I'm very resistant to authority, and authority doesn't like that. So I've had all these fears to unwind and unravel over the years. And I've overcome deep insecurities around my weight. I've overcome deep-seated, unworthy feelings, which really, really mess with a person. Chronic health issues. I've got this belly issue that I'm working through right now, but I'm working through it. It's just harder to do on myself. It's much easier to heal others. But still, I've healed myself so much. It's crazy. But at the same time, I still go for outside help. I'm not arrogant enough to say, oh, I'm a healer, therefore I just heal myself. No, that's stupid. You can't see the forest for the trees. You have to be held through your pain. You can't see certain things because it seems like facts. It seems like a fact that this is how the world works. It seems like it feels so true that you can't do this because of this thing about yourself. And then someone else comes in, another healer, and they hold you in that space and they can guide you and you transform and you open and you blossom, right? So this is why it's so important to work with a gifted healer like myself. And yes, have your own home practice. Whether you're already healing other people or you just want to heal yourself, I can teach you how to become a better self-healer because my work is call and response. Now, right now, the way to work with me is over a 4-month, 16-week exponential expansion container, my one-to-one work, where we'll have weekly sessions. Each week, as you clear some things, you'll have stuff come up like usual in life, except you'll be able to see how you're co-creating it. You say, oh, well, I had this fear that this would happen, and I'm feeling these like tense feelings when these people do that, and I'm acting like this. And we will go and unpick it, unravel it, heal it. And then you go back out into the world over the next week. And then you see things change and prosper and flourish and blossom. And then you come back and another level of problem will come up. So like this, like maybe I felt really bad about saying no. I have these people at, work or these clients that I feel like I can't say no to for these reasons. And then we unpack why. We discover the memories behind it. We dissolve it. We upgrade your nervous system. We reset you. And then you go into the world and then you have another experience that you get through even better. Or maybe it's hard. And then we go through it either over Messenger, which I do light messenger coaching. So it's not going to be all day long messaging. But, if you have some problems during the week and you want to message me about it, I'll help you talk it through. Plus, you'll also get recommended content from my library, which I have hundreds of pieces of content of EFT tapping, of spiritual teachings, mindset teachings, journaling, guided visualizations, affirmation tracks. I've been doing this for years and years and years and years. So I've collected a big collection. So if you're ready to work with someone different that does something unique, that by the end of the 16 weeks, like we don't know what will happen. Like, we know that something amazing will happen. I know that it will help you in your business if you want business success. And it will also then help you in your relationships or in your health or in your self-image or in your visibility or in your followers or somewhere like that. But you don't know exactly what. So like my client Aurora, who just came to me, I knew she had chronic pain. I said, I can help you with that, and multiple things will happen as well. You have wonderful things happen. I didn't know that her Instagram would blow up from 350 to 27,000 just within working together for 4 months. And I think around in the 4th month, it went poof, and it just blew up in just a few days. I didn't know that. But I did know that something amazing would happen because we were doing the healing work. I didn't know she was going to get headhunted for an indie film and then go back and film another one with them the next year. I couldn't have said that, but I did know that something amazing would happen. I didn't know that she would feel so much better in her business, that she'd go from limping along to drowning in orders. And now her new problem is that she's overwhelmed and we need to clear her overwhelm around an ability to handle it. I didn't know that. But I knew that something amazing would happen. It happens for everyone. It's always something amazing in multiple areas. And I'm so in love with this work. I love sharing this from the bottom of my heart. And if you want to get in, I'm going to put the link in the comments with this so you can send me a question. If you think that this is for you, if you want a tapping coach, if you want someone that can teach you, and like whether it's, as I said, whether it's business, relationships, healing, whatever your problem is. What's your problem, my love? What problems? Okay, well, let's clear them together. Okay, and let's help. What do you want? What do you want to call in? What do you want to manifest? Great, let's help you do that. So I'm going to put in my link. You can message me with any questions at all. No pressure chat. I don't want to work with someone that I have to twist into working with. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to do it. But I will stand in the fire if you say you want to do it, but then come up with excuses why not. I might say, well, here's what I think about that, but I'm never going to push anyone into working with me. If you feel called, if you're getting the nudge, if you're feeling curious, if you're feeling a yes, if you're like, I would like to, well, the time's going to pass anyway. And the money that you invest into this work, you're not going to miss. In fact, it's an investment that helps your assets grow, that helps your life grow, your abundance grow, your prosperity grow, your relationships grow in ways that you cannot even imagine right now. So I'd love to invite you, especially if you're a leader, you're a change maker, you're someone you just feel called to make the world a better place, but you have your own problems, you have your own limiting beliefs, your own setbacks, your own ups and downs, and you are humble enough and smart enough to know that you need outside help, because we don't get points going at it alone. That's a trauma response, saying, oh, I can do it on my own. That's a trauma response. Trauma response. Yeah? And yeah, so I think that's it. What else? My Healers ebook. If you're not ready to sign up with me one-to-one yet, then come on my email list. Are you on my email list yet? If not, why not? If you like me, if you feel like my work will help you, which, you know, my work helps a lot of people. So if you resonate with me, get on my email list. The best way to do that is to download my Healers ebook. I'll put the link in the comments, but it's at spiritualsuccessjourney.com/healers ebook. So that's the best way. And read it, obviously. Don't just download it. Make sure you open it and read it. It tells you about the missing link of forgiveness, which is paramount for manifestation and living in a heavenly state of mind. It has prayers and healing scripts, self-talk healing scripts. And it's just really, really good book. It's a short read too. So download that. And yeah, send me any messages. And if you're just ready to sign up, if you know you're a change maker, you know that, you know, you've done inner work before, this isn't for you. If you just want to do a few sessions and then complain it hasn't worked, would you go to the gym and complain to your personal trainer that you've done 3 sessions and you still got belly fat? I mean, you might, but it's crazy. Would you go and learn a language and then complain that after, 3 weeks you're not completely fluent in the language? You might, but you'd be pretty dumb. So we need to really just see this as a foundational part of your life where you just start doing it. Just like when they say you have to create exercise as a part of your lifestyle, you just do this inner work as a part of your lifestyle. So that way when you have fears come up, we can actually conquer the fears and the self-sabotage patterns before they even begin. It's really good. Okay, so yeah, if you want to sign up for the 4 months right now, click the link below. There's a pay in full option with a discount, or you can do the easy payment plan over 4 months. If you really want to do the work and it still is a stretch and you need a longer payment plan, but you're absolutely for sure going to pay it all, you can message me and I can work something out. But you do get a discount for the more you pay at once. Yeah. So gorgeous. Get my Healers ebook, get onto my email list. And let me know in the comments, what has been your biggest highlight or takeaway from this? What did you think about my story of saving the life just by following what felt right for me? That was my higher self speaking through me. The higher self is a part of me that's most connected to God, right? So I'm Kai Clifford. I'm your spiritual guide and energy alchemist. And one more thing, if this has resonated with you, if you think that people need to hear about this, please share. This is how people find me, okay? It's just through people sharing for the most part, people referring me. You never know whose Facebook I'll pop up on, who really needs, maybe their doctor told them that they have to have their womb removed and they're really terrified. They find my work, they sign up with me, and then all of a sudden, after a few months or several months of work, I've saved their womb and in the process healed the relationship, put them in their power, healed anger from their childhood and past marriages and things like that. And they become a whole new person that's full of health and vitality and is kind and loving more than ever before. Like, you just don't know who this will help. So if you want to share, please do. It's a great way to give back. Okay, gorgeous, I'm going to go. I so look forward to hearing your comments and reading any messages that you wish to send me. Bye.